New York, and I'm presently living in Mauritius, and I'm going to be doing a daily overview of the local news here in Mauritius. I'm part of this program called English Language Fellowship, and there's a lot of teachers, about 170 of us in 60 different countries. So every day I'll do a quick overview of some of the local news in Mauritius, just so you can hear a little bit about it. So today, February 16th, Saturday, 2019, one issue that occurred was at a local bus stop when students are waiting for their buses. There was some violence, unfortunately, between students, and then afterwards one student was found having a kind of knife on them, and which is kind of new news. I mean, being from New York, this unfortunately happens not all the time, but often. For instance, we have metal detectors in our schools so that no issues occur in terms of violence. But that's something that's quite new here in Mauritius. And something else that happened very recently was this hurricane called Helena that came and it hit an island called Rodrigue, and a lot of crops, because the main economy of Rodrigue is agriculture, was impacted. Something about some solutions that were being offered in regards to the violence of the young people, which I found really interesting, just being that I'm here in the field of education, was that they don't have enough physical activity, young people. They're playing a lot of video games that are quite violent. There's not a discipline master. Like, for instance, we have a discipline dean in New York in the schools, and it's often common in a lot of schools in the States. So they're saying that they want to maybe create a new post for that in schools as well. Maybe not as much help in terms of psychological issues. So like, I know like we have social workers, we have psychologists. I'm sure they have them here in Mauritius, but maybe it's not as common. They also said that this person who was giving advice for what should be done, Miss Preti Ramatjutan, said that they should actually be teaching kids how to breathe better and how to work with their own stress. And of course, a student, a kid, a child is a reflection of their family. So it's also issues that may be occurring within their families that are being kind of expressed in the open realm, at the bus stop or in school. But there's things that are not just the fault of children, but they're a reflection of the larger issues that may be occurring in a society. So that was from L'Express, which is really popular here. Another really popular newspaper that's published every day, always in French, and there's some English articles and a little bit of Creole, is the Mauritian. And I guess what stood out to me mostly, once again, was how much that this rain and the cyclone, because we're in the cyclone region of East Africa, impacted Rodrigue. It almost hit Mauritius, but it just skipped it. There was one article about this man, which I found pretty inspiring. His name was Ashish, and basically he uses his ferry boat to help kids get to school from one side of a river to another. And it's kind of nice to hear a positive story, because news has its positive and negative elements, just like any country, any place. And it's nice to hear some stories that are pretty inspiring. Here was another one of this man. He is a really well-known artist. His name is Hervé Mason, and he was somewhat revolutionary during his time because he wanted Mauritius to be independent from Great Britain. And I think he was actually imprisoned for a period of time, and he made really beautiful artwork, kind of documenting the different cultures that occurred in Mauritius. Yes, that is the main news in regards to what's occurring locally. So until the next one, have a wonderful Saturday, and more to come.